to go through.
He's been very consistent with that. He feels like his team is incredibly immature, and Indiana exposed it Wednesday night.
Purdue had won 4 of 6 in the Big Ten, but losses to Michigan and Indiana, which you would expect. The wins, though, against the bottom of the league for the most part. And the game starts with a Dave Sobolewski triple for the Wildcats.
It is amazing, Bob, when you see a team sprint through their cuts, which Northwestern just did there, how whoever gets the shot makes it. It's a fact of basketball. The harder you play, the better things go for you.
Ronnie Johnson pulls up. Comes up short, tapped around though, and it ends up with Sobolewski.
You know, right there, they had Travis Carroll on the block. Had Hammonds been in, that ball would have gone inside. Something would have happened, good or bad. But without Hammonds, you saw the effect right now. Ronnie Johnson pull-up jump shot.
Reggie Hearn tries and connects.
What a great story. And Matt Painter, I don't blame him for doing what he's doing right here. Northwestern is going a heck of a lot.
Rebounds on the bench and coming off of a 30-point performance against Indiana. Late for the team bus, sits to start the game, did not start. And Matt Painter calling a timeout, not even a minute and 20 seconds in, and now an over and back violation called by Mike Kitts.
You know, let's see, did this one off Northwestern? No, good call, really good call. You know, it's inexcusable to be late for a team bus. You have 30 games a year, that's it. It is completely and totally inexcusable. Well, my alarm didn't go off. Whatever happened, doesn't matter. You should be up early. When you're a kid with Little League, your jersey's out, you're ready to go. It should be that way in college. You only have 4 years.
Tyrone Johnson pulls down the miss from Trey Demps. DJ Bird sets up a straightaway jumper that's off the mark from Travis Carroll.
Bob, when Travis Carroll came out, I thought that was going to be his shot right there. I mean, I saw him in high school, Danville High School in Indiana. I thought he was going to be kind of a Brad Miller type. Not as good, but shoot the ball, play out on the perimeter a little bit. He's really struggled with his shot.
With Hammonds on the bench, now it's Ola in the post against Carroll. He goes to the jump hook, and it's Northwestern by a touchdown, as Purdue has yet to get on the board over 2 minutes in. Not a lot of space for the Boilers. Shot clock down to 10. A wild flip, no good from Ronnie Johnson.
Now, Matt made the point, Matt Painter did, that they have to run motion to give guys rubs, give guys angles, but they're not a motion team. And by that, I mean they don't have guys that can pop back off the screens either as a screener or the cutter and knock in jump shots. So they struggle offensively because of that.
Shot clock down to 9 for the Wildcats. Sobolewski tries to create some space. Deep jumper is connected by Reggie Hearn. He's 2 for 2. And it's a double-digit lead to start for Northwestern. And Matt Painter wants another timeout. Michigan doesn't turn it over. IU forces a lot. That could be a big theme tonight.
Yeah, you know what I like is now people are starting to complain about Assembly Hall being the hall of calls, right? What that means is referees are intimidated, opposing teams are intimidated, opposing fans are intimidated. That's a real compliment to Indiana University, previous teams and the current team. It is a great back cut by Sobolewski.
With A.J. Hammonds in the game, so it didn't even take Matt Painter until our first under 4-minute timeout to get his freshman center after being late for the bus in the game. And he was not there to guard the rim on the Sobolewski cut. 12-0 Northwestern. Tyrone Johnson. The tip follow inside finally goes. Donnie Hale on the offensive glass. Hammonds got a hand on it as well. I think they'll credit the basket to Hammonds, and that finally gets Purdue on the board. Sobolewski for 3. Buckets for Dave Sobolewski, his second 3, and it's a 13-point for the Cats.
You know, Sobolewski is a spectacular player in his own right. He is always ready to play. He doesn't turn the ball over. He has to guard. Think about the point guards in the Big Ten between Trey Burks. You've got Oladipo. You've got Kraft. You've got all these quick guys, and he battles like crazy every single night. Pretty good move by Anthony Johnson, though.
A one-on-one move. That gets Purdue their second bucket. But not a lot of team basketball from Purdue so far.
And that's what happened, Bob, against Indiana. Everybody thought they were going to go beat their man, and that's not Purdue, other than Ronnie Johnson, doesn't have that kind of quickness.
Ola, sweeping hook across the lane, a little harder to convert against A.J. Hammonds. Hammonds has it taken away by Sobolewski. And Ola ends up with the loose ball. The extra pass to the corner. A three on the way. Doesn't get the friendly bounce for Trey Dempson. He has been cold from outside the arc. He was 16 of 28 over an 8-game stretch in the middle of the season, but comes into today 2 for his last 16 from 3 over Northwestern's last 5 games. That floater's no good from Tyrone Johnson. Tipped around to Hammonds. He gives it up to Hale. Blocked inside and taken away by Reggie Hearn. Demps to the rim. Fouled by Hammonds. Trey Demps shoots free throw. Brand new Ryan Fieldhouse, located right on the shores of Lake Michigan near the north end of the Evanston campus here at Northwestern, and a nice chunk of change.
I like the cabanas. I like, hey, I'm going to college. Where are you going? I'm going to the cabana today. Because the beaches here are awesome. People don't know how Northwest Indiana and Chicago have great, not good, great beaches, including right here off campus, or on campus, I guess.
Bird off a screen, hits a three. DJ Bird, number 9 all time, shooting the three at Purdue.
Hardest cut of the day from Purdue. Out of the timeout, Bird knew he was getting a shot, so he sprinted off his cut. See, that doesn't need to be called. What? All right, let me show you where I would be in college. You see these right here?
Yep.
These are cabanas. All right, so I would be right here. I would be sunning myself. And I'm going to put up Diet Coke here, although in college. But that's where I would be, right in those cabanas, snapping my fingers, saying, the finest fruits and meats.
Hearn down the lane lays it in. And I actually think that the pigmentation of the telestrator,
yes,
shockingly similar.
No.
Almost, I think, a carbon copy of what the pigmentation of Dan Dockich laying on the beach would be.
No, I'm Serbian. I am olive-skinned. I am just spectacular in the summertime, including once I get out sunning myself as I button my jacket.
Yeah, I would say blinding might be the reflection off of.
No.
I could see out there with the foil under your chin, like one of those kind of looks.
Maybe a volleyball, a football, a frisbee, maybe a cooler.
Maybe. Alex Marcatulio called for the reach-in. That's the first and the second on the team.
Marcatulio's an important guy for Northwestern. He's a kid that has made big shots. He can shoot it from deep. And against Purdue, you're going to have to make shots. They're going to, eventually in this game, they're going to jam things up, and you're going to have to make shots. Sobolewski's hit a couple early, but I think Marcatulio's a key player in this.
Drew Anthrop, former walk-on that earned a scholarship last season, comes back to replace Anthony Johnson. And A.J. Hammonds, who we had listed as the number 18 center in America on our ESPN U100, unable to hit at the free throw line. Northwestern always with their backdoor cuts, sharing the basketball, seems to have a very high assist percentage to field goals made. And when we come out of our next timeout, by the way, we're going to get a closer look as Sobolewski turns it over on a double dribble. We're going to get Dan Dockich out on the floor, and we're going to take a little peek at the Princeton offense and why Northwestern is able to so effectively share the ball.
Yeah, a lot of people think Princeton offense, they think only back cuts, and certainly back cuts are an element to the Princeton offense, but the major element involves the top of the key, and we've already seen it today, and we'll talk about it coming out of the next timeout. Really fast cut. He should make that.
In and out for Bird. Tapped by Marchuch, trying to save it was Donnie Hale. He could not. It goes back over to Northwestern.
Marchuch and Anthrop are in for one reason and one reason only, and that's to play hard. Don't turn it over and play really hard. Pick up the level for Purdue. Pick up the intensity. And you saw right there, Anthrop not letting Sobolewski get the ball.
Swapshire for three. He's got it.
And Marchuch didn't. Swapshire just came off, and Marchuch had his hands down. And Swapshire, who can shoot the basketball, took advantage of it.
A contested jumper from Donnie Hale.
Off one pass.
You could see 7 assists for Northwestern on 8 made field goals. 0 assists so far for Purdue. And this is the largest lead for the Wildcats, trying to add to it. 8 minutes gone by in the first half.
This comes down to a matter of pride for Purdue, in my opinion. You got beat bad. What are you going to do? And to this point, what they've done is play the same way they played against Indiana.
Sobolewski has that pass tipped out by Donnie Hale. When we return, Dan Dakich out on the floor. They've run it to perfection, and they've got a 21-7 lead. Only 3 seconds on the shot clock here for Northwestern as they'll throw it in. Marcatulio lobs one to Sobolewski. Makes a tough catch, tries to give it up. And they will say it is a shot clock violation as DJ Bird was heading in the other direction but did not have complete possession of the ball before the shot clock expired. Drew Anthrop shaken up, holding his left hand or left wrist. So we'll see if the former walk-on's able to stay in the game. But Dan Dakich, what you were basically describing has been to perfection what Northwestern has executed through the first 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, the casual fan, you know, oh, Northwestern, they're going to back it. Yes, they do. But all of that action at the top of the key is what really drives it. And there's a bunch of different things that they do. But ultimately, flaring off the top of the key, getting the ball to the top of the key, penetrate pitch is huge.
Bird pulls up in the corner.
They throw it in there. I mean, that wasn't Marchuch's fault. And this is what's wrong with Purdue. Tyrone Johnson didn't throw the ball to Marchuch. Marchuch got a 3-second call, and he ran right past Tyrone Johnson. Neither of them slapped hands. Neither of them acknowledged each other. That's immaturity. And that's what Matt Painter's fighting.
And Matt Painter has already gone 11 players deep in the first 9 minutes as Swapshire fades away. That's a little too strong. The rebound to Marchuch, but is that a reflection of him? I want to see someone out there giving the effort that I think is reflective of what Purdue basketball should be.
No doubt. Purdue basketball is about toughness, hustle, improvement, overachievement, excellence, and it just hasn't been there here. Doesn't mean it won't come. There you go.
And there's the senior Bird, knowing that with Marchuch fighting for position, it was time to throw it in the post, and Mike Turner commits the foul for Northwestern. That's his first.
Again, I'm big on this, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse on this, but after the pass in and a foul, Purdue, Ronnie Johnson's a freshman, but he's got to gather everyone and say, let's go. Hey, look, let's do that again. Post up hard. I'll get you the ball. Something, and you're just not seeing it. It's immaturity.
Over 3 minutes without a point for the Boilers. A.J. Hammonds back to the basket, gives it up. Leaning in and drawing the foul was Jacob Lawson. Well, this is a young team. Etwan Moore, gone. Jawan Johnson, gone. Robbie Hummel came back for his 5th year last season, but Matt Painter talked about the fact that how much more beneficial to this specific group it would be if he still had a Robbie Hummel, just that type of senior leadership voice to tell these guys what's expected.
Well, Robbie Hummel was here for 27 years, so he
had exhausted his eligibility.
But to your point, you know, last year Kentucky wins the national championship. Everybody talks about Anthony Davis. Well, there's some older guys that you want to follow. You know, DJ Bird is a guy that I would probably follow. He's a tough guy if I were a freshman, that type of thing. But it's a difference. Ronnie Johnson comes in to Purdue. Yogi Ferrell comes into Indiana. They're both freshman guards. They both played against each other. They both know each other. Yogi Ferrell's got a bunch of older guys like Oladipo and Sheehy in their junior year that have played through it, been there, done it. Here you really don't have it. But so that's an opportunity for Ronnie Johnson.
Backdoor cut for Hearn. Nice feed from Alex Ola. Midway through the first half, and it's 23-8 Northwestern. Foul called on the cut. That will go against Swapshire as he was trying to stay with DJ Bird. Second on Swapshire. Five team fouls against Northwestern. Only 2 team fouls for Purdue midway through the first half. Into the post it goes now to Hammonds. Backdoor cut, a little Princeton offense underneath the basket, and the layup for Rafael Davis.
Hey, if that ball didn't go into Hammonds, someone was coming out because Matt Painter just yelled, "Give it to him," as loud as he could. He's right.
Reggie Hearn's got a shoe untied. At the top of your screen, gives it up to Ola. Ola left alone, tries the jumper and knocks it down.
You have to make that if you're a big man playing in Northwestern's offense. Now, he hasn't shot the ball. Well, Indiana played against him by playing Cody Zeller right in the middle of the lane. Michigan came out and guarded him. But you have to recruit to that spot. As Northwestern shooting 71% in the game, and Ola's made a couple.
I was here for that Indiana game, calling it on radio a couple of weeks ago. Ola had that shot left alone all day against the Hoosiers.
Right.
And now Hammonds goes to the left hand and uses the glass. Nicely done by A.J. Hammonds. And now Mike Hitz has a chance to tie his shoe. That gives Reggie Hearn a chance to lace up as well.
Why do refs get to stop play for tied shoes and players can't? Seems to me players are more important to the game than refs.
But back to Alex Ola for a moment. It seemed as if in that Indiana game that he feared arrest if he shot the ball. I mean, he was left alone at the free throw line all day long and never looked at the rim. And Bill Carmody said that, yes, he does need to at least think about being an offensive threat, and knocks it down there.
You have to. You have to.
Foul called on Tyrone Johnson.
I like the way the referee handled that. Gerald Williams, he made the right call. Cutter was being held, and you have to protect cutters. You can't just hold them. But right there, Gerald Williams, I think it was Tyrone Johnson, came over to him. He just looked at him and said, no, you fouled, don't talk to me. He's right. Again, Hearn cutting harder than Purdue is playing defense. Wide open shot off an inbounds, inexcusable.
How surprised are you by this score?
I'm not, the score is one thing, but I'm shocked at Purdue's effort, particularly after losing the way they lost the other night. And I'll be honest with you, and this is going to sound really bad, but if you can't come out and play really hard after getting beat by Indiana, then you got to seriously think whether or not you should have a scholarship to Purdue, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Now, everybody cries, you know, kids lose scholarships. All right. Well, if you're not going to come out and bust it after that beatdown, you got to seriously think if, number one, you're a Purdue basketball player, but more than that, are you a Division I player? Ham is a Division I player. He's kind of bringing it now.
Another foul called away from the ball. That will go against the Boilers. Matt Painter has some questions to ask of his group.
I've been out there.
11 for 15 for Northwestern. How about that?
And now an unforced error for the Wildcats. They turn it over.
How about this? 10 assists, 11 baskets. Only 2 turnovers, now 3 for Northwestern. It's pretty good.
Hammonds lost it. Dribbled it right to Marcatulio. Marcatulio gives it up. Hearn stumbles and turns it over to DJ Bird. Bird comes back the other way and gets an open look and hits a triple.
Big turnaround right there. Marcatulio took it too deep. Pretty good transition defense by Purdue, but Marcatulio, he threw a shoe, he blew a tire. Kind of crumbled, turned it over. They were getting ready to go up 15. Instead, it's a 10-point game after the 3 by Bird. Big turnaround.
Marcatulio rolls one to Ola. The finger roll comes up short, though. Purdue has missed their last 4 in a row, and now a turnover as Rafael Davis got caught in midair.
Basketball, when you get the ball, unless you know, and this is what Matt Painter's telling Davis, you get the ball, unless you're going to shoot it or immediately drive it, you hold it for a 2 count, 1,001, 1,002, and the play will develop for you. But when you put your head down and you dribble into people, bad things happen almost every time.
Ola muscles his way underneath, and he took steps.
Yeah, good defense by A.J. Hammons. Just kind of stayed behind and let Ola walk.
Mike Turner comes back on for Ola.
It's a really big part in the game right here. You get a feeling that Purdue's going to get this within 5 here fairly quickly. At least that's the sense on the court. Now, you got to make plays to do it. It seems like Purdue's kind of gathered itself a little bit.
And Northwestern's turned it over their last 3 trips. Going to work is A.J. Hammons.
You're always looking as a coach, where can we go? Where can we get comfortable? What can we adjust to defensively? And what Purdue has done is found a real comfort with A.J. Hammons on the block, which is no shock.
All alone. And hitting a 3 is Trey Demps.
Terrible communication, just a simple back cut. Demps kind of went over. Back cut, 2 guys went with the cutter. Nobody communicated for Purdue. 3-point shot.
Northwestern is 5 of 6 from 3-point land, and that broke a 7-0 Purdue run. Back cut, nice find by A.J. Hammons as Tyrone Johnson, or rather Ronnie Johnson, able to hit.
Great pass by Bird. We had the same angle as Bird. He had a very tight window to use all the analysts in football.
That time Mike Turner threw it into traffic. The backdoor cut not there. Tyrone Johnson, a little floater, rolls over the front of the rim. And some life for Purdue, down by only 7.
Yeah, you get the feeling defensively, Purdue much better. Locked in. I know they missed the switch. We just get the feeling.
Hearn for 3. He's got another. Northwestern stays red hot from 3-point land, and Reggie Hearn's 2 for 2. The Cats are 6 for 7 shooting the 3.
Just remember this saying, water finds its level.
A.J. Hammons catches underneath. Score the bucket plus the foul as A.J. Hammons with a chance for a 3-point play.
Hey, you want to find something, find this guy. This is a tough pass. Tight window, Marcatulio and Sobolewski, too little. Ronnie Johnson with the finish. A great job by Purdue of finding A.J. Hammons these last 5 minutes. And look at it, just stop, take your time. And that's what Tyrone Johnson did. Same thing here, help is late. Sobolewski no factor. Turner with the foul, 3-point play. Good move, great move actually by Purdue, saying spread it, throw the ball to Hammons, let's figure it out. Let's figure it out.
A.J. Hammons has 11 here in the first half after being late for the bus, not starting the game, disciplined by Matt Painter. The freshman has responded in double figures for the 12th time this season.
This is a lot to ask for a freshman, but it would really help Hammons if instead of acting tired, he acted enthusiastic. I mean, really, because the whole team would pick up. He's the best player.
Well rested, too. He got that extra sleep this morning.
And he got extra time on the bench. But everybody, when a player's going, everybody reacts to him. And it would help the rest of his teammates if he got, excited.
Travis Carroll called for the foul on Alex Ola. That's the first on.
I like the Fab Five. I think culturally they did a lot of really good things, a lot of fun things. They were never a factor in the Big Ten race. 15-3 one year, but it was always those years going to be us and Ohio State. But how about this shooting?
Hearn keeps it going.
Us being Indiana when I was an assistant coach there, I'm sorry. But they did. I'm up for style and I'm up for cool, and I thought they were.
Do you think that history remembers the Fab Five for being a better team than they actually were?
I think no, and maybe, but here's the deal. They went to 2 national championship games. I mean, they went as freshmen.
To be remembered, though, as a great team in the Big Ten, is a fast break the other way, sets up Sobolewski for 3.
I think that's a bad shot. I think that's a really bad shot.
Do you have to win the Big Ten at some point to be remembered like that?
Yeah, probably, but in this day and age, coaches, players, you get rings for Big Ten championships, but what do people really remember? I mean, they remember the NCAA tournament and runs, and yeah, you have to win your league, I guess, to be considered a great team. That only makes sense.
Ola called for the foul.
But I do think 2 national championship games, pretty good. Really good. Ridiculously good.
Well, if you're not at home, tonight's the night where WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app could come in handy, because ESPN College Basketball is available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at Watch ESPN.
I don't give advice often, nor should I. But getting the Watch ESPN app is something a sports fan needs to do. Like, doesn't kind of need to do it. It's like breathing.
I think your line the last time we were together was, it's the greatest invention since the fork.
The fork.
Which that has stuck with me.
It is. It's terrific. I mean, you're driving, let your wife drive or your husband drive, and you watch ESPN and nod your head and say, yeah.
Ignore them.
Right.
And just watch television. I agree.
Absolutely. Well, Northwestern is still cutting hard.
Sobolewski on a cut. Kicks to the corner. Around a screen, it's Hearn. Rattles home along, too. Northwestern has never trailed. Their largest lead was 15. And Hearn is on fire here in the first half. He's got 19 points. He hasn't missed yet. 8 for 8 from the field.
No scholarships out of high school, out of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Long pass to the corner. Tyrone Johnson in and out. Sobolewski the rebound.
Hearn is a great story. No scholarship, smart kid. Came to Northwestern. I told him he could be on a basketball team. Worked and worked and worked. And now got a chance to be an all Big Ten type player. Look at this.
9 for 9 from the field in the first half for Reggie Hearn.
When you are not a connected team, and Purdue is not a connected team right now, you go away at different times in the ball game, and this is a very, very dicey time for Purdue going away. Big shot.
Anthony Johnson able to connect. Go right back to Reggie Hearn, wouldn't you?
Why not?
Here he is. Hearn with the shot clock winding down. And that's his first miss, and it missed everything. Anthony Johnson attacks. Has it blocked out of bounds.
You know, I complain a lot about officiating, but that was a great piece of officiating. Many times, guy goes into 2 guys, you just call a foul. Great job by Mike Kitts and Gerald Williams to just not make a call. Just that's Kitts there. Just see what happens. All right. I got him with the body. All right. Well, maybe.
Leaning in, coming up short, Tyrone Johnson. Teams in college basketball don't look for the 2-for-1 like they do in the NBA.
And I really don't understand it.
And now a timeout called by Bill Carmody. Really not a sense of urgency there for Northwestern. to try and get a shot off and maybe get
embarrassed. How can you look if you're down 11 because you've played so hard, you've missed shots and they've made them fine, but that hasn't been the case in this first half.
Cale Abrahamson has come on for the first time. And Trey Demps from way outside, his second three. And it's a 14-point lead for Northwestern. One shy of their high for the game. Look at the Cats shooting the three, 8 of 12. Down to 10 seconds to go in the half. Purdue needs a bucket before halftime in the worst way. Ronnie Johnson dribbling it down to 3 seconds to go. He's going to have to force one up. Will he even get a shot off? He does, and it's an air ball. What a first half for Northwestern.
No question about it. The team that played harder is leading now.
Northwestern started the game on a 12-0 run, closed the half on a 10-3 run. Reggie Hearn is only 2 points away from his career high, and he still has the second half to get there.
Got to quit going under the handoffs and the ball screens on Reggie Hearn. Going underneath has really hurt Purdue. You got to go over the top, but when you go over the top, Hearn turns the corner and gets to the rim. That's why it's team defense. We'll see if they go over screens on Hearn second half.
The Boilers gave up 47 at home on Wednesday night to IU, and they come out today and give up 43 on the road at Northwestern, and then DJ Bird starts off the second half with a turnover.
You get down 14, and there's a ton of time, obviously. It's first possession of the second half. You have to swing the ball, swing the ball, swing the ball. That's the motion offense that Matt Painter wants. Not dribble the ball down into an area along the baseline, get tied up. He went underneath.
Demps step back three. And that time, Trey Demps couldn't make them pay for going underneath the screen. A.J. Hammond's in the post. Turnaround. Doesn't get the roll. So Beluski with the rebound on the weak side.
Boy, Demps with an outstanding block out. Just took Davis and put him under the basket.
Swapshire shut down, finds Ola. Great ball movement that entire possession by Northwestern.
Bob, that's what we're talking about. Swing the ball side to side. Let the defense break down by itself. The defense won't break down if you try to attack after one pass to one side. Ball has to be swung.
Bird off a screen, hits a three.
That's the best move Purdue has. Take the ball opposite Bird on the block. Bird sprints off a high screen and knocked it in. That and Hammonds. I'm sorry, Hammonds has been the best. That's been the second best. But Hammonds is guarding nobody on this end.
Bird now has 6. He's hit a couple of threes. There's only 2 field goals. He averages 10 a game. But Reggie Hearn has been the hot hand for both teams so far today. He was 9 of 10 from the field in the first half. Shot clock winding down for the Cats. Ola again in the post. Swapshire, shot clock at 5. Gives it up to Ola. Wide open with the shot clock at 3, and he rattles it home. Not too bad. Take the shot clock down that low and get a uncontested look from straight away.
Smart by Northwestern. They know that Hammonds is laying back in the lane, so they went and ball screened with Ola. Hammonds is off of him. They just threw it back to Ola. Again, not even a pass and a jump shot by a bad shooter. It's not Purdue basketball.
That gets Anthony Johnson up off the bench. See if he comes on for Ronnie Johnson, who just took that shot. He will.
Watch number 22 now. Hammonds is in the middle, number 20. He's not really coming out on the ball screen. He gets caught with a little turn the corner and then doesn't hustle out on Ola. I mean, look, it's great that you score on one end, but basketball, you got to play 2 ends. And even though you're playing off of Ola, you have to be aggressive when he's going to shoot from the elbow.
And when the shot clock's winding down, isn't that the responsibility of the player to know there's 2 on the shot clock? You have to know that thing's going up.
And you know, shot clocks are pretty lit up.
And there's 1 at each end, I think, too.
Yeah, and the crowd's counting it down. Look at that pass.
Swapshire patiently on the reverse. It's a clinic by Northwestern. At the offensive end, they have been about as good as you can be. Nearly 70% from the field.
And the key has been the passing of Ola. And the lack of aggressiveness and the laissez-faire approach of A.J. Hammons defensively.
Hammons jumper won't go. Demps down the lane through traffic, draws a foul. That'll put Trey Demps at the free throw line, and Alex Ola has been good as a distributor.
Yeah, and the key to the Northwestern offense is a big guy that can pass. And you see number 20, Hammons kind of watching. His man's making plays. He has 4 assists right now, Ola does. 2 things you recruit to when you recruit a big to Northwestern. A kid with skill, a big kid now. Kid with skill that can pass the ball, and a kid that can hit the top of the key jump shot. And Ola's done both today.
He's looking to shoot today, though, as opposed to some games we've done earlier this season where he is left alone and has done nothing to force the opposition to respect him. Today, he's put up a couple of jumpers and knocked them down. 2 different ways, and Northwestern saw it in playing Ola. In the last 2 games, Indiana, as we mentioned earlier, played Cody Zeller middle of the lane, daring, begging Ola to shoot, and Michigan went out and got after him a little bit. So 2 different schools of thought. Both were effective against Northwestern, but not today. A.J. Hammons has it taken away. Sobolewski the other way. Ball movement for Hearn. No good. Tapped around. Sobolewski takes it away from Rayfeld Davis.
Rayfeld Davis was not physical enough with Shropshire. He tried to get into a jumping contest, and he's going to lose that because Shropshire jumps better and is longer.
Demps for 3. Air ball.
Now, Water's starting to find its level with the 3s, Bob. You're not going to go. You're not going 8 for 12 all day.
A.J. Hammons with the left hand.
That's really nice. Ola let Hammons get too deep. Previous possession, Ola didn't let Hammons get on the block, forced him out. He missed the jump shot. That time, let him right under the rim, and there's nothing you're going to do.
Is there any other way for Purdue to fight their way back in this game and to throw it to Hammons in the post? As Hearn has it taken away.
We'll do this. Get more aggressive. Don't worry about fouls. Get out in transition. Stop at the elbow as opposed to take it too deep.
Tyrone Johnson couldn't hit after his own pass bounced back to him off the leg of A.J. Hammons.
Kids, just stop at the elbow. Like, if I'm a guard and I'm in high school right now, I'm practicing 8 bazillion elbow jump shots. And somebody's going to give you a scholarship if you can just do that.
Demps draws a foul on Anthony Johnson. 17-point lead.
A stud. No wonder he's so accomplished.
Dan Dockich-esque type presence, I would say.
Dan Dockich never had that kind of presence that that guy has. Nor the accomplishment. You asked me how Purdue gets in. One of the things they can't allow, like right here, Northwestern always has an outlet for the ball, and that outlet is Ola.
And here's Ola again, directing traffic.
Right there is part of the game plan. Okay, he can catch it out there, but not on the block.
Hearn comes up short. Swapshire an offensive rebound, though. Ola, backdoor to Sobolewski again. 5 assists in the game for Alex Ola.
Let the defense break down by itself by swinging the basketball. It's exactly what Northwestern did to Ronnie Johnson right there.
Hammons in rhythm, in and out. Tip follow won't go. Hammons comes up with the loose ball, though, after Rayfeld Davis kept it alive on the offensive glass. A little floater, and Anthony Johnson draws a foul. He'll go to the line. Here's Ola being a playmaker.
Yeah, doing what you do as a high post guy. Terrific passing. He's got 5 assists right now. A little ball screen roll for himself with the extra pass. That is not an easy pass right there for a big kid to sit down and be able to make a pass underneath the defense on the move. He's shown terrific skill. And there's his last one, a little stuff pass What he's doing really well, Bob, he's not throwing it to his teammate. He's throwing the ball away from the defense. And to be a good passer, that you don't throw it white shirt to white shirt. You throw it white shirt away from the black shirt. And that's the difference between a tip ball, a turnover, and a completed pass.
Ola will get a pretty big hand as he and Reggie Hearn sit down. Trey Demps comes back on along with Mike Turner for Northwestern. Rayfeld Davis taking a seat for Purdue. And Anthony Johnson at the free throw line. Can't hit. Northwestern is 3-6 in the Big Ten. And they've had a couple of bad losses. Lost at home decidedly in the Big Ten ACC challenge to Maryland. Also lost to UIC and by 20 to Iowa. And just recently lost at Nebraska. But this, arguably their best performance of the season so far, as Sobolewski can't hit from three. Cats have had some pretty impressive wins, though. They won on the road against Illinois, home to Minnesota, and also won at Baylor.
6 of their last 9 opponents have been ranked at the time when they played, so it's been a tough stretch here.
Demps a three from the corner.
That was set up by Sobolewski. This whole game has been set up by Sobolewski. Sobolewski has come out and from the first play of the game, and he knocked in a three and played harder than everybody else on the floor. Like right there. And Ola's played well too, don't get me wrong. But that kid right there, his mentality has set the tone for Northwestern today.
If they keep this up, they might eclipse the record they set back against Troy State in 1997.
To do that, they need to quit shooting quick threes. They're shooting, 8 for 12. I'm sorry, but you're a 30-something% three shoot. That's where it's going to fall if you continue to take enough of them. They're getting enough off back cuts, drives, swinging the ball that they don't need to shoot it through unless end of the clock.
Bird muscles one up inside. A tip follow won't go off his own miss. Run down by Anthony Johnson. Well, that last Trey Demps make broke a string of 5 straight misses from 3. And I don't know if I heard DJ Bird say glass. They'll score the basket, but it looks like a foul will be called away from the ball after Bird banked in a 3.
Let's look under the bucket.
And they called Marcatulio for a foul on Anthony Johnson. This is a big call. They'll score the basket, I believe, for DJ Bird, and Purdue's got the basketball. Lobbed inside to Hammonds, broken up, taken away by Sobolewski, knocked out of bounds.
Remember the first half we showed you help was late? Sobolewski, just a little bit earlier that time, saved the basket by getting into help. You should never be late against Purdue in help because they can't shoot other than DJ Bird, so you should always be there.
Trying to throw it down was A.J. Hammonds off the lob, and he couldn't hold on. Now leaning in with a chance for a three-point play is Donnie Hale. This could be a 6-point trip for Purdue and maybe get them back in the game. Mike Turner called for the foul. That's his third.
You want to know why coaches sweat? Because they know it's possible to get a 6-point play. Good for Donnie Hale. He kept, see his head and his chin stayed with the shot. They stayed on the rim, and when you do that, you can play through contact and get the ball over the front of the rim. When you drop your head or only look with your eyes, the ball most times comes up short when you get knocked around.
DJ Bird takes it away. Johnson, a floater, no good. Offensive rebound, Hale's putback won't go. Ola got his hands on the ball. Saved in the corner, no. Marcatulio stepped on the baseline.
We're at 5 right now, right? 5-point possession.
Swapshire back in. Here comes Reggie Hearn back in. Looked like Bill Carmody wanted to get some of his better players that brief rest before the under-12 timeout. Now he's so worried about this possession that he's putting Swapshire and Reggie Hearn back in to see if they can help get the basketball back for the Cats. A.J. Hammonds, no good. Offensive rebound, Anthony Johnson rolls it home. It's a 7-point trip.
How about that? You're sitting here 21 up, and the ball doesn't get across half court, and you're only up 14.
Ola, one-on-one against Hammonds. Can't hit. A chance to keep the run alive now for Purdue. Hammonds, nice find on the backdoor cut. Ronnie Johnson lays it in, and the lead is down to 12. Marcatulio finds Ola this time rolling to the rim, and he draws a foul. It's a call on the floor, and we have a game that is far more competitive now than it was a moment ago. Reggie Hearn, Trey Demps, Dave Sobolewski have 43 points combined for Northwestern, all in double figures, and they have almost outscored Purdue to this point, but the Boilers down by 21 at one point. Have gotten it down to 12. Bob Wischusen, Dan Dockich here at Welsh Ryan Arena. Stepping back, Swapshire knocks down a three. What a big shot out of the timeout for Northwestern.
Yeah, Donnie Hale just got caught up on a screen instead of hustling and avoiding the screen. But great for Northwestern. They swung again. Make the defense break down by swinging the ball, going through your cuts, going through everything, not just dribbling. And good things are going to happen for you.
A.J. Hammonds. One-hander won't go. Nice wall off by Marcatulio. Fights for the loose ball, and it's out off Marcatulio as he came together with Ronnie Johnson. And Marcatulio thought Johnson knocked it out. So does Bill Carmody.
So do I.
Unfortunately for Northwestern, Mike Kitts.
If Mike Kitts called it, it's right.
A block by Swapshire on the three ball from DJ Bird. Basketball justice.
No question.
It ends up back with who? The ball knows.
The ball knows. Absolutely the ball knows. You see it all the time in basketball. Oh, wide open again. Little back screen, down screen.
Swapshire in and out.
That's a move that Northwestern needs to keep in the arsenal. Swapshire setting a back screen on Hammonds. Because Hammonds a little slow, Swapshire's man helps. Swapshire comes off the screen, gets wide open, just in and out.
Purdue only shooting 30% here in the second half, trying to figure out a way to get back in the game. Anthony Johnson gets the screen, 12 to shoot. A little shake and bake on Ola. The one-hander over Ola won't go. Offensive rebound, no good for Donnie Hale. Anthony Johnson, another try, and draws the foul. Well, tonight, a game you might have heard about is going to take place in the Big Ten. Our journey to the tourney, a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament, continues. And two of the country's finest, number 1 against number 3, Michigan. And Trey Burke against Indiana and Cody Zeller at Assembly Hall at 9 tonight on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN.
Indiana, people are worried about the matchup. You know, who's going to guard, who's not. What you got to worry about is bigs for Indiana, Zeller, Watford, Gelston, being involved in a high ball screen, side ball screen against Trey Burke. You have to be able to play that, wall it off as a big. If Indiana does that, they'll win the game. If they have problems with that, they'll lose.
Even with that little run by Purdue, Northwestern has stabilized the game again. They were up by 14 at half, and they have, even with a 7-point trip against them, extended the lead here in the second half. Sobolewski, that shot's blocked, a foul call. Ronnie Johnson called for the foul, and Dave Sobolewski will go to the free throw line. Second on Johnson.
It was a really good defensive possession by Purdue. And Ronnie Johnson was right there. But, and this is hard for kids to understand, when you have good pressure on a shot, there's no reason to move your hand forward. You just keep them straight up.
Sobolewski last year averaged 35 minutes a game, which was number 1 for Big Ten freshmen. He played a ton. And so Bill Carmody, I talked to him earlier this season. He was funny. Said everyone thought that he slowed down at the end of the year last year because he played so many minutes and he's a freshman. But A, we didn't have anyone else. And he said, and B, he's 19. So you can't play 40 minutes. Not only that, but every 4 minutes in a college basketball game, you get a 90-second to 2-minute break. Said, I don't want to hear about it.
Absolutely right. I mean, all this, he gets tired. Oh, please. He gets mentally tired, but physically not a chance in heck.
19 years old. He's basically a walking lung. Just go out there and keep playing.
19 years old. You ever see that 5-hour energy commercial where the guy does like 1,000 things in 5 hours? That's what you do at 19.
Sobolewski wide open on the backdoor look, and Northwestern's having some fun. Marcatulio had a big smile on his face.
Yeah.
Sobolewski fumbled it, but the Cats maintained possession with a fresh shot clock. No turnovers in the last 17 minutes for Northwestern.
I think Sobolewski was tired. That's why he didn't make the layup.
Now the officials' conference.
What would a game be without a stoppage and the old walk over to the review?
I think they want to make sure that the ball hit the rim, that they will judge that a shot, and that the shot clock should have reset.
All right, how do you miss that? How do you not know if the ball hit the rim?
Looked like it hit the underside of the rim there.
Let's see the ref underneath.
Now Mike Kidd's going to come over and explain Stan Dockage, and obviously you are 99% of the time going to be proven wrong.
At your own peril.
Exactly. So it will be 13 seconds on the timer for Northwestern. If I'm a Purdue fan, sitting at home watching this game, I just lost by 37 in the in-state Civil War home game to IU, and now it's this performance, at least so far today, on the road. And there's a backdoor cut for Reggie Hearn, a chance for a three-point play to extend the lead. How worried should I be about where this team is right now?
Understand this about Purdue fans. They're very, very smart. Here's this little move. You're not going to see the cut, but terrific cut. And Hearn, with great patience, goes up and lays it in. Purdue fans are very smart. And they understand. Look, when you walk into Purdue's gym in Mackey Arena, it says time to play hard. Defense lives here. That's what Purdue with Gene Cady and Matt Painter have prided themselves on for years, and it hasn't been fake. The student body has bought into it. The fan base has bought into it. They hold signs up how many charges. It is a proud, tough fan base. One that, even though I played in Indiana, but I'm from Northwest Indiana, I have unbelievable respect for Purdue. And so Purdue fans know what you and I are saying about their effort today is 100% accurate. They're not saying, hey, Dan's an IU guy, so he's killing Purdue. No, they're saying...
Cats have put on arguably their most impressive performance of the season. Northwestern shooting 59% from the field, and they have a sizable lead with under 8 minutes to go. Ola thought about a wide open jumper, but instead Northwestern will run their offense. Eight to shoot. Hearn looking to add to his career high. That won't go, and a good box out underneath by Donnie Hale. No room for DJ Bird. Instead it goes to A.J. Hammonds. Hammonds over Ola. No good. Hearn the rebound. Clock under 10 again for Northwestern. Marcatulio around an Ola screen for three. Off the side rim, Swapshire kept it alive. Bumped Ronnie Johnson, and Swapshire will be called for a foul. That's his third. Big Monday with a primetime doubleheader on ESPN. Start the Big East with Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish looking for an upset when they head to the Carrier Dome to take on number 6 Syracuse, and then at 9 to the Big 12 as the Longhorns meet the Mountaineers. Texas, West Virginia caps Big Monday presented by Bud Light The action starts at 7 on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN. The follow inside by Hammonds won't go off the Ronnie Johnson miss, but Purdue will draw another foul. That will go against Sobolewski. That's his third.
Boy, Texas and West Virginia.
At the start of the season, looked like a good matchup.
Yeah, and it's two of the more disappointing teams. And I know Texas has had oh, wow.
Backdoor cut, and a defensive breakdown for Northwestern gives Ronnie Johnson the uncontested layup, and now some pressure in the backcourt for Purdue.
Let me tell you the difference in this game. Sobolewski got beat on a back cut and reacted angrily to it. Like he was mad that he got beat. I haven't seen a Purdue guy yet get mad because they got beat. I've just seen them kind of accept it, do that, keep going under, hoping the other team misses. And they are starting to miss.
Marcatulio with a cheap foul out near midcourt now. Team foul number 7 against Northwestern, so it's a 1-and-1 for Ronnie Johnson.
You asked how to get back in the game, and fouls like that are how you let Purdue get back into the game. Doesn't he look like Dean Martin? Just sitting there, open collar.
Oh, he's a lounge act.
Yeah, he is.
There's no question.
Frank, Dean.
Yes, there's a good chance. There's a good chance that, you know, you coach a game at 11 a.m. local, and by 8 o'clock tonight, you do your first of 3 shows at the Tropicana. And you're Bill Carmody.
At the Copa.
Over there, just talking to no one in particular. You get the cheap foul at midcourt. Now Purdue gets a chance to score with the clock stopped, still with 5:45 to go, and now he's done talking to no one in particular. Now you just go up there and spend some alone time.
Last year they lost. Robbie Hummel hit a shot at the buzzer. I did the game, and I've never in my life seen a coach that looked sicker than Bill Carmody. He came over in front of us and walking around. He didn't know where to go or what to do, and I felt so bad for him. I feel bad for him today. His team's giving great effort.
Swapshire left alone. Hits the 3. That's a lot of open three-point looks Northwestern has had today.
Yeah, Donnie Hale had a real problem. Again, third time, Shropshire missed an easy one. Difficult time getting through the screen. See, Northwestern can go under all these screens because Purdue doesn't shoot it well. Purdue has more guys that shoot shots like that, runners, than maybe any team I've ever seen. And Matt is going to have to clear that up in recruiting. He's going to have to get some guys in here, and Bryson Scott and Evan Stevens, his son Kendall, coming in. Pretty good shooters, real good players.
First field goal of the day there for Tyrone Johnson, and a foul called on Marchuch. Well, there are 4 teams that make up the longest tournament droughts among the Power 6 schools, and Northwestern has never been to the NCAA tournament. So he knows that these opportunities, few and far between, to win a lopsided game at home in the Big Ten. He's been to the NIT the last 4 straight years, but has not gotten Northwestern to the NCAA tournament yet. And all of a sudden, you play arguably as lights out as you've played all season. Then you make a dumb foul out in your midcourt. It's a 14-point game with just under 6 minutes to go. He knows it's not over yet.
Oh, of course. Well, back to that drought. If you're going to be, what they call themselves, Chicago's Big Ten team, well, Chicago's other team is the Cubs. They've had a bad century and a half. You know, and this kid here, Drew Crawford and Jershon Cobb, Bill Carmody has had bad luck. Like, Crawford's really good. He's the second leading returning scorer behind Christian Watford in the Big Ten in terms of career points. Cobb is a terrific athlete, one of the most highly rated recruits they've ever got. He's terrific. And, you know, a couple years ago, they had Sherna and they had Kevin Coburn. Kevin Coburn quit. So they've had some ridiculous things happen to them to keep them out of the NCAA tournament.
Sobolewski with a smile on his face as he flopped on a drive by Johnson. There was no call, and then Marchuch kind of threw him to the deck. And again, there was no call. Swapshire floats one to Ola, left alone, and he missed the bunny. Swapshire, though, with a fresh shot clock. 4 minutes to go. And with 11 seconds on the shot clock, a foul called on Rayfeld Davis.
Kind of afternoon where you question your team's resolve when getting punched. And not literally punched, but Dave Sobolewski, excuse me, just took the heart of Purdue. And Swapshire and Ola, Marcatulio, certainly Reggie Hearn with 21 in the first half. They just did to Purdue what Indiana did, took their spirit. And that's not coming from me, that's coming from Coach Painter when we talked to him before the game.
Well, if the lead stays where it is in the last 3.5 minutes, then Northwestern will have led by double figures for about 34 minutes of this game. Indiana led by double digits for 27 minutes and then blew the doors off Purdue down the stretch on Wednesday nights. You're talking about being down as Hammonds gets loose underneath. Can't hit, but the putback goes. You're talking about basically playing 60 out of your last 80 minutes down by double figures.
And at some point, you've got to fight through things. Look, Coach, I got screened is only good in the Zionsville Youth League. Donnie Hale just accepted the screen. Marchutes didn't get out. Watch right there. Donnie Hale just runs into the screen. When you are really locked in, same thing here. No switch, no get through the screen. Shropshire wasn't even going to shoot. But then he looked, wow, I'm wide open. That is not what Matt Painter and Purdue basketball has been all about. When you are attuned to the game and you are ready to play, you don't get screened. When you are competing, not just playing, you don't get screened. You switch. You do whatever you have to do. And Purdue's come out here just to, because we have a basketball game on a Saturday. Northwestern's come out here to compete and win on a Saturday, and there is a big-time difference. I almost swore.
I'm glad you didn't, as Marcatulio calls a timeout.
For Northwestern, sitting next to me, said, "What's happened to you? You look horrible."
Hot dog and Snickers for breakfast probably had nothing to do with it. Sobolewski, they go under on the screen again, and he can't convert from three.
Well, that's the shot to start this whole thing off. Sobolewski cutting hard, getting the threes. He's played a great game. Great game.
Sobolewski stripped it away from Anthony Johnson, and he wanted the turnover as well.
He did want a turnover here. Let's see. There's the strip. Oh,
He's right.
He was right.
Anthony Johnson for three. Anthony Johnson off the tip miss. Comes up short for two. Tyrone Johnson leans in. Ola blocks that one. Second effort by Hammonds is good. And now Ola shaken up, holding his left ankle. Looks like a timeout might be called by Matt Painter. He's going to bring Donnie Hale in the game, but Northwestern has to help their center up off the deck, and now he stays down.
You know, it's amazing in basketball. More kids don't go down. Now, you know, just watch. Look at all the bodies in there. For every body, there's 2 feet, and he just kind of crumbles with his left. We're down 13 with 1:18 to go. Came back to the 1-point lead. I mean, look, you want this win, get it out and go. Don't worry about getting guys in, because Purdue called timeout for a reason. They're no foul. They're going to make guys go to the foul line. So at least, you know, 20-point lead under a minute, then you're thinking about it.
So Sobolewski trying to break the pressure, gives it up to Swapshire. Swapshire's going to need some help. Dribbles himself into a double team in the corner. And Bill Carmody called a timeout when he saw Swapshire get trapped down deep. 2:19 to go, and Alex Ola, who just turned his ankle a moment ago, now with a smile on his face over on the bench for Northwestern. And Sobolewski will try to inbound from a tough spot deep in the corner with A.J. Hammonds all over him, and Northwestern has to call another timeout. Only one left. Able to make the tournament?
You know, you got to look at Illinois, wins at Gonzaga, beat Butler. And you'd have to look at them as a distinct possibility.
Good job by Sobolewski to lob it into Marcatulio. Northwestern able to set things up. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Marcatulio, a back cutter and Hearn. How pretty was that?
That's what you do. Marcatulio held the ball, saw he had Hammonds, brought Hammonds up, and looked underneath. Too often guards look left and right instead of straight down. When you look straight down against a trap, good things happen.
Foul called on Hearn, and that will put Anthony Johnson at the free throw line.
I believe tonight, must-see TV. Indiana, Michigan. That's going to be I think Assembly Hall has been the most fun watch on television of any arena in the country over the last 2 years. Tom Crean has, in my opinion, energized what used to be kind of a staid crowd. He's got the big heads going. The students are excited. And Michigan, to me, is a team that doesn't care about any of it. They're going to play no matter what the environment. That's why I think it's going to be an unbelievable night tonight in Bloomington.
Double figures for the 5th time this season for Anthony Johnson, and that allows Purdue to set up some full court press. And they are able to inbound to Swapshire. He's caught, left his feet. Sobolewski, a wild toss to Hearn. And now they break pressure. Not exactly the way Bill Carmody drew it up. Sobolewski away from a double team. Picks up his dribble. Tied up by Ronnie Johnson. And a foul called with 1:31 to go. 3rd on Ronnie Johnson. The first time in Michigan history that they are off to a 20-1 start. And what gives tonight from a turnover standpoint? Can IU turn over Michigan? Because that's been obviously their specialty.
I don't know that that's that important. Obviously, if one team turns it over a bunch, they're going to lose. I mean, that's, you know. But Michigan's going to do what Michigan does, which is handle basketball. I don't think they're going to get, you know, disrupted. I think what it comes down to, as I said earlier, Indiana's bigs have to handle the ball screen, and I do think rebounding. Indiana is the best team, I believe, in the country at broken plays. You get a rebound, you kick it, you make the extra pass. Jordan Halls hits a 3 from the scorer's table. And Michigan's not bad at that either because of the athletic ability that they have. Now, it's going to be interesting. If Tom Crean goes zone, I think Indiana's going to get beat. I don't think there's a better zone coach in America than John Beilein. Indiana zone, or excuse me, man-to-man, really good against Purdue. Not so good when they've played it other times. Somebody needs to break long here. There you go. Just to spread this out a little bit.
Sobolewski will call the final timeout for Northwestern.
Oh, let's go to the Index 8.
Game for Tuesday night. They've got photographers and reporters that are going to be with both teams leading up to that game. So that should produce some interesting stuff. And speaking of interesting, Northwestern facing this pressure without timeouts now with 1:20 to go. And they are able to break it, get into the front court. Sobolewski high in the air to pull down that pass and draws the Ronnie Johnson foul. So it's an automatic 2 for Sobolewski. And that's the 4th on Ronnie Johnson.
You know, this is interesting. 13-point lead, minute 16 to go, Northwestern at the line. All right. About a minute ago, Purdue decided to trap and press. Now, Matt Painter is not a trapping, pressing coach. However, when you have a team that isn't going as hard as you want on the defensive end, sometimes just to wake up your own team, you go to pressing and trapping. And these last 3 possessions, Purdue has played far harder than they had the entire 38 minutes of this game. You have to outsmart players. It's usually not that hard, but you do. If they don't want to go, then you put them in a press and you make them go.
And Sobolewski misses 2. Ronnie Johnson will attack. Goes right at Sobolewski, and Sobolewski stripped it away.
It's 4 times Sobolewski's got his hands on a driver or a post man coming from the weak side mostly, but that time on the ball.
Let's stay here. Bird bounces it in. Tyrone Johnson hangs, hits the side of the backboard, tapped around, loose ball, stripped away by Sobolewski as A.J. Hammons had it. And it stays with Purdue with just over a minute to go.
It's 5th time Sobolewski has stripped the ball. You know, you can just tell he feels it and he's felt it from the get-go.
A force by Tyrone Johnson. Sobolewski had the rebound. Marcatulio fights for it now. And he draws the foul with under a minute remaining.
One more miss by Purdue. This is just how coaches think. One more miss by Purdue, and that man right there, Bill Carmody, is going to feel good. I know it's a 13-point lead with 56 seconds, and you're looking at me like I'm insane. But one more miss by Purdue, and he'll feel good.
We feel pretty good right now. Good enough that we're going to go back to the studio and Steve Weissman.
All right, thanks a lot, Steve Weissman, Bruce Pearl. 1.9 on the clock, and now 0.1. Tie game, Virginia Tech, UNC. This on ESPN3. Eric Green had a shot to take the lead, missed it for Tech.
Looks like overtime, Coach.
Down to the last 45 seconds to go. An in-and-out jumper for Anthony Johnson. And now Bill Carmody can feel pretty good because now it looks like Purdue is basically waving the white flag.
Great effort today by Northwestern. Individually, collectively, much better effort. The team that played harder won. And that was established from the tip.
The Cats began the game with a 12-0 run as Swapshire tosses up a three. Down to 13 seconds to go. And they kept the margin in double digits for almost 35 total minutes. They shoot a season high from the field at 54%. A little final indignity there as Swapshire takes it away. Northwestern didn't commit a turnover in the last 25.